Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chained Opinion Podcast. Tonight, we're going on a deep exploration into something that's been causing a lot of buzz, Asteroid 2024 YR4. You've probably seen the headlines, and maybe even felt a little sugar thinking about a potential impact in 2032. I know I did. Those early comparisons to a city killer or descriptions of its size larger than a football field really grab your attention, don't they?
It's understandable to feel a bit of anxious, when we hear about something that could pose a threat to our planet. But that's why we're here tonight, to break down the facts, the most recent updates on Asteroid 2024 YR4, so you can understand what's really going on.
Exactly. We're going to unpack the discovery of YR4, how predictions about its path have been changing, and what a potential impact, whether on Earth or the Moon, could actually look like.
And importantly, we'll delve into how scientists are responding to this, what steps they're taking to keep tabs on this asteroid and even potentially deflect it.
So this all started back in December 2024 when astronomers using a special telescope system designed to spot potentially dangerous asteroids discovered YR4. And based on those early observations, there was a small but real chance it could collide with Earth in December 2032.
Right. Initially, the probability was calculated to be about 1.3%, but as more data came in, it actually jumped to 3.1%, which understandably caused some concern.
Okay, so a jump from 1.3% to 3.1%. That sounds pretty significant. What caused that shift? Was it just that scientists needed more time to observe the asteroid?
Exactly. Early observations often have a larger margin of error, but with constant monitoring and refined calculations, the most recent data shows that the probability of YR4 impacting Earth has plummeted to just 0.28%.
That's a huge drop. That's got to be reassuring, right?
It definitely is. It really highlights how crucial continuous monitoring is. Scientists are constantly refining our understanding as new information comes in. But what's interesting is that while the probability of YR4 hitting Earth has decreased, the chance of it impacting the Moon has actually increased to about 1%.
So even though the risk to Earth is significantly lower, we're not completely out of the woods yet. What would happen if YR4 did hit the Moon?
Well, the Moon plays a crucial role in stabilizing Earth's axis, which gives us our regular seasons. An impact like this could potentially disrupt that stability, leading to long-term changes in our climate and weather patterns.
Wow, I never considered that a lunar impact could have such far-reaching consequences for us down here on Earth.
It's a reminder of how interconnected everything is in our cosmic neighborhood. And it also underlines why so many experts are advocating for space-based infrastructure to monitor potential hazards more effectively.
Space-based infrastructure? You mean like telescopes and monitoring stations positioned in space?
Precisely. Having observatories in space would give us a much clearer view, allowing for more precise tracking. And it opens up possibilities for developing platforms out there that could be involved in deflection missions.
That sounds like something straight out of science fiction, being able to deflect asteroids. How realistic is that based on the research you've seen?
While it might sound like science fiction, deflection technology is becoming a reality. One of the ideas being explored is called kinetic impact, which involves hitting the asteroid with a spacecraft to nudge it off course.
So basically, we'd be playing a cosmic game of billiards using a spacecraft to knock the asteroid away from Earth.
That's a good analogy. It's a concept that's actually being tested right now. Another idea that's been proposed is the gravity tractor, which utilizes a spacecraft's gravitational pull to gently tug the asteroid away over time.
Okay, a gravity tractor. That sounds pretty complex. How would that even work?
Essentially, you'd position a spacecraft near the asteroid, and over a long period, the subtle gravitational pull of the spacecraft would slowly alter the asteroid's trajectory. It's a much gentler approach than kinetic impact.
So we're talking about potentially using a spacecraft's gravity to subtly tug an asteroid off course. It's incredible to think about the kind of precision and long-term planning they would require.
Absolutely, and it highlights another important aspect of planetary defense: international collaboration. This isn't something any one nation can tackle alone. We need global cooperation to share data coordinate efforts and develop a unified approach.
That makes a lot of sense, a global issue that requires a global solution. But shifting gears a bit, let's go back to YR4 and those simulations you mentioned. Even though the probability is low, scientists are running scenarios to see what might happen if it did impact either Earth or the Moon. What would that look like?
Well, when scientists run impact simulations, they consider factors like the size of the asteroid. In YR4's case, it's estimated to be between 130 and 300 feet wide, as well as its speed angle of entry and even its composition. All of these things play a role in determining the severity of a potential impact.
So it's not just about whether it hits, but also how big it is, how fast it's traveling, and what it's made of. Could you walk us through some of those potential scenarios? Let's say it did hit Earth. What kind of damage are we talking about?
If YR4 were to hit the ocean, it would likely trigger massive tsunamis, causing significant devastation along coastlines. An impact on land would create a crater, potentially triggering earthquakes and widespread fires. The severity of the damage would depend on where it hit.
I imagine the impact would be vastly different if it hit a major city versus a remote area, right?
Exactly. A direct hit on a densely populated area would be catastrophic, potential for a significant loss of life and damage to infrastructure. An impact in a remote area would still have serious consequences, especially for the environment, but the immediate human impact would be much less.
It's a sobering thought. But it's reassuring to know that there are people working on solutions like those deflection techniques we talked about. Are there any other strategies being explored for dealing with potential asteroid threats?
Absolutely. One area that's receiving a lot of attention is early detection systems. That means developing even more powerful telescopes and better data analysis techniques. The goal is to give ourselves as much warning time as possible. The more time we have, the more options we have to act.
So it's a two-pronged approach: early detection to give us a heads up, and then deflection techniques to potentially change the asteroid's course. It's incredible to think about the technology and global cooperation that would be required to push something like that off. It makes you wonder, could there actually be some positive outcomes that might emerge from this kind of challenge?
That's a great question, and the answer is surprisingly yes. Facing a potential threat like this could spur some incredible innovations. Think about the advances in technology that came out of the space race. It's not just about avoiding disaster, it's about using these challenges to push the boundaries of science and technology.
So potentially we could see breakthroughs in areas like space exploration, resource utilization, maybe even things we haven't even thought of yet.
Exactly, and it goes beyond just the technological advancements. A global challenge like this could also foster stronger international collaborations. When faced with a common threat, we often see humanity come together to find solutions.
It's fascinating to think that a potential threat like YR4, while understandably concerning, could also be a catalyst for positive change, both in terms of technology and global unity.
Yeah. It's a reminder that throughout history, humans have often found ways to turn challenges into opportunities. But as we wrap up our exploration of Asteroid 2024 or YR4, there's one more crucial aspect we should touch on.
You're right, we've talked about the science, the potential risks, and even the potential opportunities, but we haven't really discussed the human side of things. How are people reacting to this news? What are the psychological and social implications of this kind of event?
It's been fascinating to observe the range of reactions. Some people are understandably anxious, even fearful. The idea of a giant space rock hurtling toward Earth can be pretty unsettling. Others are more intrigued than worried, fascinated by the scientific aspects and the potential challenges and solutions.
I imagine there are some folks who are tuning it all out, perhaps feeling overwhelmed or powerless.
That's certainly a common reaction to news that feels big and scary beyond our control. And then there are those who see this as a call to action, a reminder that we need to be better stewards of our planet and work together to address global threats.
It seems like YR4 is serving as a reminder of our shared vulnerability, but also of our incredible capacity for resilience and innovation. It's highlighting the fact that we're not just passive passengers on this planet, but active participants in shaping our destiny.
Exactly. And while the universe can be a vast and sometimes daunting place, we have the power to understand it, study it, and even protect ourselves from its potential hazards. We're constantly learning and adapting, and that's what gives me hope.
That's a powerful message. So as we back up our in-depth look at Asteroid 2024 YR4, what's the one thing you want our listeners to take away from this conversation?
Well, I think the key takeaway is this. While Asteroid 2024 YR4 initially caused concern, the risk of a direct impact with Earth has decreased significantly thanks to ongoing monitoring and advanced calculations. However, this event serves as a reminder that we live in a dynamic solar system, and understanding these potential threats is crucial to our long-term survival. It also highlights the incredible ingenuity and collaborative spirit of humanity when faced with the challenge. From developing early detection systems to exploring potential deflection techniques, we're taking proactive steps to ensure our safety.
Well said. It's a reminder that while the universe may throw us curveballs, we have the capacity to understand them and even potentially deflect them.
Precisely. It's a testament to the power of human curiosity, ingenuity, and collaboration.
Well, folks, on that note, we're going to wrap up our deep dive into Asteroid 2024 YR4. Remember, while the universe could be vast and sometimes daunting, we have the power to understand it, to study it, and even to protect ourselves from its potential hazards. We're not just passive passengers on this planet. We're active participants in shaping our own destiny. Be sure to let us know your thoughts down in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and check us out on YouTube Music and Spotify. We'll see you next time.